Russia says that the crew aboard the Udaloy-class destroyer Admiral Vinogradov, which has been involved in at least one near collision in recent years, threatened to use a ramming maneuver, as it ejected the U.S. Navy destroyer USS John S. McCain from what it claims are its territorial waters in the Peter the Great Gulf in the Sea of Japan. The U.S. 7th Fleet has confirmed that the Navy ship was conducting a rare so-called Freedom of Navigation Patrol or FONOP, to challenge Russia's excessive maritime claims in the area, but denies it was forced to leave. The Russian Foreign Ministry condemned the passage of the USS John S. McCain destroyer into Russia's waters in the Peter the Great Gulf. In their statement, the ministry stated that it sees the U.S.'s move as an open provocation aimed at violating peace and order in the waters. It also said Russia reserves the right to retaliate against the incident. The ministry added that any attempts by Washington to undermine Russia's sovereignty in the water area are unacceptable. The statement came after Russia's defense ministry said that a U.S. Navy destroyer had entered Russian territorial waters by 2 kilometers in the Sea of Japan. The Russian Pacific Fleet's anti-submarine ship Admiral Vinogradov issued a warning to the U.S. vessel, reportedly causing it to sail into neutral waters. In response to Russia, the U.S. 7th Fleet said the USS John McCain had not been expelled from any country. The U.S. military claimed the destroyer was carrying out an operation to ensure freedom of navigation. They also said the U.S. had not agreed that Peter the Great Bay was a historical harbor under international law. The U.S. military claimed the Soviet Union declared that the area become part of the Russian territorial waters in 1984. The Russian Defense Ministry said it used its international communications to warn the U.S. vessel about the possibility of using ramming to get the intruder out of the territorial waters. A spokesman for the U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet said in a statement, "The Russian Federation's statement about this mission is false." USS John S. McCain was not expelled from any nation's territory. McCain conducted this FONOP in accordance with international law and continued to conduct normal operations in international waters. He added that the U.S. would never bow in intimidation or be coerced by Russia. The spokesman added, "The operation reflects our commitment to upholding freedom of navigation and lawful uses of the sea as a principle, and the United States will never bow in intimidation or be coerced into accepting illegitimate maritime claims, such as those made by the Russian Federation." Russia has continued the USSR claim. By conducting this operation, the United States demonstrated that these waters are not Russia's territorial sea and that the United States does not acquiesce in Russia's claim that Peter the Great is a historic bay under international law. Last year, Admiral Vinogradov was also involved in a near collision with a U.S. vessel in the East China Sea. Both the U.S. and Russia have blamed each other for the incident. The two countries often accuse each other of conducting military operations at sea and in the air. Relations between the U.S. and Russia remain tense. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has still not congratulated U.S. President-elect Joe Biden on his election victory. It's worth noting that the Navy, as well as U.S. military aircraft from various branches of the U.S. military, routinely conduct FONOPs and otherwise challenge Chinese territorial claims in the Pacific, especially in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait. Activities targeting Russian claims are far less common, but there has been a notable uptick in such operations this year, including Air Force bomber sorties into the Sea of Okhotsk, which is surrounded on 3 sides by Russian territory. The 7th Fleet's Public Affairs Office subsequently published a longer statement online reiterated that John S. McCain was asserting its navigational rights and freedoms legally in the vicinity of Peter the Great Bay and also pointed to Russia's excessive maritime claims in the region. The point of contention, as far as the U.S. government is concerned, relates to maritime claims that date back to 1984, when the Soviet Union, also referred to by the acronym USSR, declared a system of «straight baselines» along its coasts, staking claims to certain bodies of water, such as the Peter the Great Bay, as «internal» to the country's sovereign borders. The 7th Fleet statement goes on to explain in more detail the objection American officials have with the maritime claims regarding the Peter the Great Bay, as well as the practical measures that are undertaken to uphold international law. The Navy has, so far, not specifically confirmed or denied the threatened ramming. However, it would not be the first time in recent years that an American warship has had a near collision with one of its Russian Navy counterparts in the Pacific. In 2019, the Navy said that Admiral Vinogradov, the same ship involved in this latest incident, came dangerously close, within 50 to 100 feet, to Ticonderoga-class cruiser USS Chancellorsville while it was sailing in the Philippine Sea.